Today we are answering 2023 religious education paper for grade 9. Okay, so we'll start with section A. Okay, section A carries 20 marks. Okay, as you can see here, section A 20 marks. All right, so we will answer. Okay, question 1. How was spiritual and moral education taught to the youth in the past? Through dash. How was spiritual and moral education taught to the youth in the past? Through dash. Okay, so the answer is B. They were taught through oral traditions. Okay, we go to question 2. Question 2. As a person grows, he or she dash. As a person grows, he or she dash. Okay, so he or she gives more and he receives less. So the answer is A. Okay, we go to question 3. What is the most effective way that parents and other adults can use to teach a child about their religion? By dash. What is the most effective way that parents and other adults can use to teach a child about their religion? By dash. Okay, so the answer is D. It is by practicing what they preach and being good role models. Okay, let's go to question 4 quickly. Question 4 reads, why was the gospel written down? To dash. Why was the gospel written down? To dash. So the answer is A. The gospel was written down to show what Christians believed about Jesus. Okay. Question 5. Question 5 reads, the choices we make shows dash. The choices we make show dash. Okay, so the choices we make, they show one's aim in life. So the answer is D. The choices we make, they show one's aim in life. All right, we go to question 6. Question 6 reads, what does it mean when you ask someone to trust you? What does it mean when you ask someone to trust you? Okay, so when you ask someone to trust you, it means you will be able to keep your promise. So the answer is B, keeping promises. Okay, let's go to question 7. Question 7 says, at the time of Jesus, which of the following groups of people were isolated? At the time of Jesus, which of the following groups of people were isolated? So the ones who were isolated during the time of Jesus were lepers. So the answer is C. Okay, question 8. What does the story of the prodigal son teach Christians today? What does the story of the prodigal son teach Christians today? Okay, so the story of the prodigal son teach Christians that God is always willing to forgive sinners who come to him. So the answer is B. Okay, question 9. Unguided learning for Hindus is when the disciples find the meaning of what the guru teaches through dash. Unguided learning for Hindus is when the disciples find meaning of what the guru teaches through dash. So riddles and the parables. So C is the answer. We go to question 10. Question 10. Okay. To live truthfully for Christians means being dash. To live truthful for Christians means dash. So it means being faithful to God's commandment. Okay, so when you are faithful to God's commandments, it means you are truthful. Okay, question 11. Which one of the following go hand in hand with freedom? Which one of the following go hand in hand with freedom? So, quite alright, you are supposed to have freedom, but you need to be responsible. So freedom goes hand in hand with responsibility. Okay. Question 12. Mutu kakula sule wankonya. Chinyanja proverb. When the head is big, it cannot avoid punches. Teaches about dash. Mutu kakula sule wankonya. Chinyanja proverb. When the head is big, it cannot avoid punches. Teaches about so this proverb here teaches about criticism of leaders. So the answer is A, criticism of leaders. We go to question 13. Which of the following enables people to keep going through difficult times and plans for a better future? Which of the following enables people to keep going through difficult times and plans for a better future? So the answer is hope. Okay. The answer is hope here. The answer is hope. Question 14. Hindus hope that by good thoughts and deeds, okay, they will correct the past wrongs. That's what they believe. Okay. Question 15. Which of the following pair of people had true friendship in the Old Testament? Which of the following pair of people had true friendship in the Old Testament? It's David and Jonathan. Okay, David and Jonathan. Question 16. Which term is used to describe an intense and short-lived passion or admiration for someone? What term is used to describe an intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone? This is infatuation. It's not love, but infatuation. Question 17 rather. Question 17. The kind of love that exists among people who are not related and is based on mutual respect and common interests is called. The kind of love that exists among people who are not related and is based on mutual respect and common interests is called civic. Okay, civic. Right? We go to question 18. What do we call a feeling of distress which results when an expectation or hope is not fulfilled? What do we call a feeling of distress which results when an expectation or hope is not fulfilled? So it's a disappointment. Okay. Question 19. The burning of the dead body in Hinduism is a sign that the soul is free dash. The burning of the dead body in Hinduism is a sign that the soul is free dash. Okay. So the correct answer is B. So it's a sign that the soul is free to be united with Brahman. Okay, let's go to question 20 quickly. Question 20 reads, a Muslim shows worship and complete obedience to God during prayers by dash. A Muslim shows worship and complete obedience to God during prayers by dash. Okay, so the answer is D here, by doing certain prayerful actions. Alright, we are done with section A. We can now go to section B. Section B carries 30 marks. Okay, section B carries 30 marks. 30 marks. Alright, section B carries 30 marks. Okay. Okay. Christians believe that morals come from dash. Christians believe that morals come from dash. They believe that morals come from the Bible. Or they may say God or Jesus. Any of the answers is just okay. Okay. So, question 1b. In the Old Testament, the moral codes are the dash. In the Old Testament, the moral codes are the dash. So the moral codes are the 10 commandments. The moral codes are the 10 commandments. They are the 10 commandments. Alright, I hope it's clear. So in the Old Testament, the moral codes are the 10 commandments. So we go to question 2. Give 2 things that will happen to a person who has grown intellectually. Give 2 things that will happen to a person who has grown intellectually. So the first thing, I'll write from here. The brain will gather knowledge. The brain will gather knowledge. The other thing is a person will be able to reason. So ability to reason. Ability to reason. Okay, there are so many, but here they just need 2. So the brain will gather knowledge. A person will be able to reason as well. Okay. Ideas about, that's question 3. Ideas about God and his relationship with people in the Zambian tradition society can be expressed through the names people use for God. State 2 other ways. Ideas about God and his relationship with people in the Zambian traditional society can be expressed through the names people use for God. State 2 other ways. So other ways are, it is through Proverbs, through stories, through songs, and so on. So we are saying through Proverbs, stories, songs, and so on, etc. Okay. We go to question 4. State the number of books contained in the A, Old Testament, B, New Testament. So in the Old Testament there are 39 books. In the New Testament there are 27 books. 27 books. Okay. There are 27 books. Okay. We go to the next question. Okay. Mention 2 ways in which you can discover your talent. Mention 2 ways in which you can discover your talent. So the first one, you may do many things. So you can discover your talent by trying many different things. That's number 1. Number 2, someone may also point out them to you. Someone may point them to you. Someone may point them to you. Okay. So this is how you may discover your talents. The first one, you try many different things. The second one, someone may help you by pointing them out to you. Okay, so this question 6, what is competition? 6a. What is competition? So competition, you may just say competition is trying to be better or to do better than others. Trying to do better than others. That is competition. Okay. Question 6b. Question 6b. State one reward of competition. So, state one reward of competition. If you compete, you may win a prize. If you compete, you may become famous. If you compete, you may earn money. So you may write any one point of these 3 I've written. Okay. Let's go to question 7. In the reconciliation process, briefly explain the meaning of each of the following steps. In the reconciliation process, briefly explain the meaning of each of the following steps. Okay, repentance, that's step number 1. So repentance is just or is being sorry. Being sorry. It's just being sorry for the wrong things. For the wrong things done. Being sorry for the wrong things done. Okay. Then the other one, which is B, forgiveness. Forgiveness is just forgiving someone who has offended you. forgiving someone who has offended you. All right, so these are the short answers that you may write. Okay, let's go to question 8. When were the youths taught through guided learning in Zambian traditional religion? Give 2 points. When were the youths taught through guided learning in Zambian traditional religion? Give 2 points. Okay, so they were taught through guided learning before initiation ceremonies. So I'll write the points here. So they were taught guided learning before initiation ceremonies. Before initiation ceremonies. Number 2, they were taught through guided learning at puberty. Okay, so again, they were taught through guided learning before marriages. Okay, let's go to question 9. Question 9. State 2 factors that make freedom possible today. State 2 factors that make freedom possible today. Okay, so the first one I'll say, the first one is the development of science and technology. The development of science and technology. So the second one I'll say people's ability to solve problems. People's ability to solve problems. So the question was, state 2 factors that make freedom possible today. So the first one I'm saying the development of science and technology. The second one I'm saying people's ability to solve problems. Okay, these are the answers. Okay, of course there are about 4, so I've just selected 2. Question 10. State 2 duties a Hindu priest or religious leader needs to perform without accepting anything in return. State 2 duties a Hindu priest or religious leader needs to perform without accepting anything in return. Okay, so a Hindu priest will not accept anything in return if he's saving others. Or when he's saving others, save others. When he's saving others. Okay, he will not accepting anything in return when he's teaching others. When is he teaching others? Or when is he preaching? Because that is his duty. Okay, so if he's doing any of these things, he doesn't expect anything in return. Okay, let's go to question 11. We go to question 11. Hope is influenced by factors such as the kind of support we get and available resources. State 2 other factors that influence hope. Hope is influenced by factors such as the kind of support we get and available resources. State 2 other factors that influence hope. Okay, so that is question 11. So the first one we may say, we write here. Okay, let's just write here. The first one is our past achievement. Number 2, our level of faith. As you may be aware, each one of us has different levels of faith. Okay. Question 12. Question 12. According to Hinduism, state 2 things that religious people do to show their love for God. According to Hinduism, state 2 things that religious people do to show their love for God. The first one, to show their love for God, they worship. They worship. The second one, they share. Sharing. They also do social activities. Social activities. So all these. Okay. All these. So now let us go to question 13. Question 13. Question 13. In Christianity, mention 2 responsibilities of a man and a woman in marriage. In Christianity, mention 2 responsibilities of a man and a woman in a marriage. Okay, so the first responsibility is sexual intercourse. Sexual intercourse. The second responsibility is to offer each other friendship. To offer each other friendship. Okay, so these are some of the responsibilities that you may have. Another one, you may just say to raise a family. Raise a family. Okay, so the question was, in Christians, mention 2 responsibilities of a man and a woman in a marriage. Okay, so the first responsibility is sexual intercourse, to offer each other's friendship, raise a family or raise children. So these are some of the responsibilities. Question 14. Name 2 religions that believe that death comes to people because of disobedience of Adam and Eve. Name two religions that believe that death comes to people because of the disobedience of Adam and Eve. Okay, so it's Islam and Christianity. Okay, Islam and Christianity. Islam and Christianity. So we are saying Islam, also Christianity. Okay, question 15. Mention two things a Muslim is supposed to do before praying. Mention two things a Muslim is supposed to do before praying. Okay, so there are so many things that a Muslim do before praying, so we'll mention a few. So they will face Mecca, they'll remove shoes, they'll remove shoes, cover their heads, wash, okay, wash various parts of the body such as face, head, feet, and so on. Okay, so we have answered questions under section B, which carries 30 marks, as you can see there. Okay, we go to section C. Section C has 20 marks. These are Bible passages. Okay, one from the Old Testament and one from the New Testament. Okay, so we have the Bible passages. Okay, the Bible passages. Okay, question 1. So went to Jerusalem and tried to join the disciples. Acts 9 verse 26. Question A. State two reactions from the disciples when Saul tried to join them. State two reactions from the disciples when Saul tried to join them. Okay, so the first reaction, they could not believe him, or they did not believe him. They did not believe that Saul was a disciple. So they did not believe that Saul was a disciple. Okay, this is the first point. They did not believe that Saul was a disciple. Number two, they were afraid. They were afraid. Okay, this Saul, remember, is a person who used to kill Christians. So when he wanted to join them, they didn't believe him. They didn't believe that he was now a disciple. Okay, so they were also afraid. So these were the two reactions. Question 1b. Who helped Saul by taking him to the apostles? Who helped Saul by taking him to the apostles? Okay, the man who helped Saul by taking him to the apostles was Barnabas. Barnabas. Okay, the man was named Barnabas. Okay. Question 1c. What did the people mentioned in B tell the apostles? Give 3 points. What did the person mentioned in B tell the apostles? Give 3 points. So this Barnabas, the one we have mentioned in B, he told the apostles that Saul had seen the Lord. He told them that Saul had seen the Lord. He also told them that the Lord, he told them that the Lord had spoken to him. He told them that the Lord had spoken to him. The other point, which is the third one, I'll put it here. He told them how boldly Saul had preached in Damascus. Okay, so our question was, what did the person mentioned in B tell the apostles? So when he took them to the apostles, Barnabas started telling them that Saul had seen the Lord. He told them that the Lord had spoken to him. He also told them how boldly he preached in Damascus. Okay. How did Saul move all over Jerusalem? Why did Saul move all over Jerusalem? Okay. So he moved all over Jerusalem because he was preaching in the name of the Lord. Because he was preaching in the name of the Lord. So he moved all over Jerusalem because he was preaching in the name of the Lord. Okay. State 2 things that Saul did with the Greek-speaking Jews. State 2 things that Saul did with the Greek-speaking Jews. Okay, so what he did was, number one, he talked to them. He talked to them. Number two, he disputed with them. He disputed. Number two, he disputed with them. He disputed with them. Okay. What value have you learned from the Bible passage? What value have you learned from the Bible passage? Okay. So there are so many that you can pick. You can say love for others, forgiveness, and so on. Okay, so this Bible passage alone carries 10 marks. So we go to the second Bible passage, okay, which also talks about Saul. Okay, Saul told his son Jonathan and all his officials that he planned to kill David. 1 Samuel 19 verse 1. Saul told his son Jonathan and all his officials that he planned to kill David. 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 1. Okay. What did Jonathan tell David? What did Jonathan tell David? He told David that he told David that my father is trying to kill you. Saul wanted to kill David. So Jonathan told David that my father is trying to kill you. B. State the advice Jonathan gave to David on what he should do the following morning. State the advice Jonathan gave to David on what he should do the following morning. So Jonathan told David to hide in some secret place. So he just told them to hide or to run away. Or to be careful. To be careful. Okay. 2C. Question 2C. According to Jonathan, mention one good thing David did. According to Jonathan, mention one good thing David did. Okay. So, according to Jonathan, one good thing that David did was to risk his life when he killed Goliath. So, David risked his life when he killed Goliath. Okay. D. 2D. State two reactions of Saul when Jonathan praised David. State two reactions of Saul when Jonathan praised David. So when Jonathan praised David, Saul was convinced. So he was convinced. So was he convinced? Okay. So was he convinced? So he also promised not to kill David. He also promised not to kill David. Okay. How did David save the king after the occasion? How did David save the king after the occasion? So David did not change, or he didn't change because Saul wanted to kill him. So he saved the king as he had done before. So he saved the king as he had done before the occasion. So he saved the king as he had done before the occasion. Okay. Question 2F. Mention the people that they fought with. Mention the people that they fought with. So they fought with the Philistines. The Philistines or the Philistines. Okay. So they fought with the Philistines. Okay. Question 2G. How did the war end? How did the war end? So the Jews or the Israelites won the battle. The Jews or the Israelites won the battle. They won the battle. They won the battle. H. 2H. When evil spirit from the Lord took control of Saul, how did he react to David? When evil spirit from the Lord took control of Saul, how did he react to David? Okay. So this King Saul, tried to pin David. So tried to pin David to the wall with the spear. With the spear. So with the spear. Okay. So try to pin David to the wall with a spear. Okay. State one value you have learned from the Bible passage. State one value you have learned from the Bible passage. So you have learned, okay, how to love others or love for others. You have also learned about hard work. You have learned about forgiveness. Okay. Section D. Section D is always 40 marks. It's a story. They are given 2 stories of which you are supposed to answer both of them. So the first story is on morality and values. Then the other one is on authority and leadership. So at your own free time, you need to take your time and read this story. This story here. This is a 2023 paper. You read this story, the whole of it. But I will help you to answer these questions. Okay, these questions from the story. So you take your time to read the whole of this story under morality and values. You read, then we answer this question. These questions together under the same story. Okay. So the first question under morality and values, these questions you answer them after reading this story. You understand it, then you answer the questions that follow with understanding. So the first question under this story is, what are the good morals? What are good morals as expressed in the passage? What are good morals as expressed in the passage? Okay. So good morals are just, okay, they are acceptable. They are just acceptable standards of behavior of a person. So we are saying good morals are acceptable standards of behavior of a person. So the second question says, who is a moral person? Who is a moral person? So a moral person is just someone who does what is right and has a strong sense of what is right and what is wrong. So we are saying is a person who does what is right, and has a strong sense of what is right and what is wrong. So, a moral person is a person who does what is right and has a strong sense of what is right and what is wrong. Question C. Mention two things upon which moral code is dependent upon. Mention two things upon which moral code is dependent upon. Okay. So, C. Mention two things upon which moral code is dependent up. Mention two things upon which moral code is dependent up. Okay. So the first thing is the situation. So moral code depends on the situation. Number two, it depends on the context. Context. Okay. Such as culture, time, religion, place, and so on. Okay. So number one, we are saying situation. Number two, context. Okay, let's go to D. We go to D. Hindu morality focuses on the concept of dash and dash. Hindu morality focuses on the concept of dash and dash. Hindu morality focuses on the concepts of dash and dash. Okay, so the answers are karma and dharma. So they focus on karma and dharma. Okay. Question E. According to Islam, who was sent to perfect the morals? According to Islam, who was sent to perfect the morals? Okay. The one who was sent to perfect the morals was Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad. Okay. Go to the next one, which is E2. Which scripture deals with issues of morality in Islam? Which scripture deals with the issues of morality in Islam? So the scripture is the Quran. The Quran. Okay. The other question says, what is moral dilemma? What is moral dilemma? Moral dilemma is just a situation where you have to choose between two conflicting morals and behaviors. So we are saying moral dilemma is just a situation where you have to choose between two conflicting morals and behaviors. So we are saying moral dilemma is a situation where you have to choose, where you have to choose between two conflicting morals. Okay, so this is a situation where you have to choose between two conflicting morals. That is the moral dilemma. Okay, let's go to G. We go to G. The Upanishads are a collection of writings that teach people how to live a dash. The Upanishads are a collection of writings that teach people how to live a dash. So to live a moral life. A moral life. A moral life. So the Upanishads teach people how to live a moral life. Okay. Let's go to question H. Name two secular sources where morals originate from. Name two secular sources where morals originate from. Okay. So the secular sources are families, schools, communities, constitution, peer group, and so on. Okay, this is where morals come from. From families, from schools, communities, constitution, and so on. Okay, so we just mentioned two. Okay, so we just write two here. We are saying families. Families. We are also mentioning peer groups. Okay, but of course I've mentioned to say schools, constitution, peer groups, families, communities, and so on. Okay, what are values? That is question I. What are values? So we can just say values are ideas that people believe are important. Values are ideas that people believe are important. So these are just ideas that people believe are important. These are values. You may also say that values are guiding principles, standards of people that are regarded as desirable or held in high esteem in our society. Okay, so we go to J. We go to J. State two benefits to keeping your virginity until marriage. State two benefits to keeping your virginity until marriage. Number one, we may just say you may avoid pregnancy outside marriage. Number one. Number 2, you may avoid STIs. Okay, so we have been told to have 2, to write 2. These are the ones. You may avoid pregnancy outside marriage. You may avoid contracting STIs. You may also avoid emotional pain when the relationship ends. Some people even kill themselves. Okay, so we go to the last one. Mention 2 positive values shown in the passage. Mention 2 positive values shown in the passage. So the positive values shown in the passage are: number 1, integrity. Number 2, discipline. Number 3, respect, and so on. Okay, we come now to the last question, which is under authority and leadership. You're supposed to read the story again. You read this story, which ends here. From here up to here. You read the whole of it, then you answer these questions. Okay, so I will help you in answering these questions. So the first question, that's after reading the story. That's when you can answer these questions. The first question says, what is authority? What is authority? Okay, what is authority? So authority, you may just say these are just the powers. Okay, powers or power given to people or a person to make decisions, or rules, and also be able to enforce them. So, and enforce them. So we are saying authority this is just power given to people or a person or an individual to make decisions, rules, and also being able to enforce them. Okay, being able to enforce them. Let's go to question B. State 2 types of authority that the head boy and the prefects did not have. State 2 types of authority that the head boy and the prefects did not have. Remember, there are 3 types of authority. Okay, so the types of authority that the head boy did not have are: he never had traditional authority. He did not have traditional authority. He also did not have charismatic authority. He did not have the charismatic authority. Okay. We go to the next question. Mention 3 reasons why parents assert authority over their children. Mention 3 reasons why parents assert authority over their children. So, the first reason is for safety. For safety. The other reason is for security. The other reason, so that a child is able to develop self-responsibility. Okay. Okay. So these are the answers. Okay. Define power. Question D. Define power. Define power. Power, this is just the ability of a person, or a group, to influence the beliefs and actions of other people. That is power. In other words, we are just saying power is the ability to influence. Okay, let's go to the next question, which is E. Give 2 factors that hinder proper use of authority. Number 1, we may say corruption. Number 2, we are saying selfishness. Of course, there are so many, but today we'll just write those. Okay. Question F. What do you understand by the word leadership? What do you understand by the word leadership? So leadership, we may just say it is the ability to influence. The ability to influence others for a common good. The ability to influence others for a common good. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Mention 3 characteristics of a good leader. Mention 3 characteristics of a good leader. So a good leader must have integrity. A good leader must be a good listener. A good listener. A good leader must be able to lead by example. There are so many. A good leader must have good communication skills, must be able to communicate. A good leader must be intelligent. A good leader must be devoted. A good leader must be available to the people. A good leader must be trustworthy. Okay, so there are so many that you can put. Alright, we go to question H. Question H. State two things that chiefs are guardians of, that are respected in particular communities from generation to generation. State two things that chiefs are guardians of, that are respected in particular communities from generation to generation. So chiefs are guardians of good morals. They guard good morals. They don't want to lose good morals. So good morals. So they also don't want to lose traditional norms. They also don't want to lose values and practices. All right. So they will make sure that they guard these so that they don't lose, so that they are able to pass them from generation to another. Okay. Question I. According to Islam, a leader must obey dash and the instructions of the dash. According to Islam, a leader must obey dash and the instructions of the dash. So a good leader must obey their God, must obey Allah. Okay, Allah, okay, and obey the instructions of the Prophet Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad. According to the Bible, state one quality of a leader. So according to the Bible, a leader must be humble. A good leader must be honest. A good leader must be able to lead by example. Thank you very much. Okay, so for tuition you can call 0971 60 32 57. Thank you.